For the next handful of episodes, I'm going to be doing a week in the life of a food vendor. I've already done Monday and Tuesday, so today I'm talking about, you guessed it, Wednesday. I'll tell you a little bit about what we do on Wednesdays to get ready to open our food truck, because we open on Thursday. Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach, author of 5 food truck vending books, including Food Truck 101 and Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Table Needs invites you to dive into a candid conversation with Christian and Tracy, co-owners of Restless Coffee, about their inaugural year in the food truck industry. Gain valuable insight on menu creation, top-notch customer service, community building, and the dynamics of working with your spouse. Curious about the journey? Click the link in the episode description to watch the video for free. Going to give you guys that quick reminder. We are located in an RV park. We are a permanent fixture there. We're still on wheels. We can move around in any place that we want, but we're connected to power, we're connected to water, we're connected to sewer. Our food truck basically only serves the people that live in the park, so we have roughly 150 or so families. Some of them eat with us almost every single day. Some of them only eat once a month. It's all based on whatever their income situation is. Most of the folks around us are older and retired, just like I am. So that's the situation that we're set up in. For us on Wednesdays, we go either to Sam's Club or Sysco, depending upon which set of supplies that we need. And then we start in the evenings doing actual food prep work. Melissa will cook things like the pulled pork for our Cuban. She'll cook the taco meat for the Mexican tacos that we do. I will slice salami, pepperoni, ham, roast beef. We sell all those as deli sandwiches, so I'm the one that does all the slicing. So we do all of that at some point on Wednesday. Wednesday, I take that totally off. I don't do anything for my coaching business because I know that I need all the time to make sure we're ready to open. It's one of the benefits of owning your own business is controlling your time. But there are things that happen that are beyond our control. This particular Wednesday, I was awoken rather early by our cat. We have 2 cats. They are tuxedo cats. One is long-haired tuxedo. The other is short-haired tuxedo. They are sisters. We got them in 2015. My son had an issue where he was having problems. He would say, I just don't feel like eating, and he wouldn't eat. Or if we were fixing something, he would hide it and not eat anything. Now, he is a tall, slender child. So him not eating showed up pretty quickly. And he had lost probably 10 to 15 pounds. He was literally skin and bones. And then he started having problems sleeping. So we took him to the doctor. And there's nothing wrong with him. We took him to 2 or 3 different doctors. There's nothing wrong with him. Well, it continued to get worse. So now he's not eating, or he's barely eating. He's barely sleeping. And then he got into where he kept saying, I'm having these bad thoughts. I feel like I'm going to hurt people. I feel like I'm going to hurt myself. Now, when you're talking about a child that's 9 going on 10, those are hard things to hear. So we would take him to a doctor. We took him to, one evening, went to 4 different places. Neither Melissa nor myself slept. We took him to 4 different emergency rooms between Fort Walton, Destin, and Pensacola. And as soon as we would get in, Chris would relax. And he would talk to the doctors and answer all their questions. And they say, there's nothing wrong with him. And they would send us home. So as soon as we would get out into the car, he would start shaking and being nervous and being upset and crying. I just want somebody to make me feel better. That's all he wanted. And he felt like as soon as he got into a doctor and somebody was going to see him, they would help him feel better. Well, we went to 4 different places. They all sent us home. There's nothing wrong with him. And that's because he would relax as soon as he got inside because he felt like somebody's going to help. And they never did. So the next morning, after we've been awake all night long, we go to one little place. It's called Bridgeway. And we got really, really lucky that the person that was on intake that day sat down and talked to Chris rather than talking to Chris's parents. She took Chris into a room and talked to him. And she was able to diagnose him. She said he's going to need some medicines. So we ended up having to take Chris to the hospital. And they kept him in the hospital for about a week. And they put him on a couple of different meds and helped him to cope with what he was calling bad thoughts. Well, part of that led to us doing the homeschool. I homeschooled the other children that we have. And Chris had always gone to public school, but now he wanted to be homeschooled as well. So we're going to homeschool. One of the things that we decided to do was give him a little bit of responsibility and get him a cat. Well, these 2 sisters, neither Melissa nor Chris wanted them to be separated, so we got 2 cats. On this particular Wednesday, where Melissa and I are planning on going to Sysco, because we were going to need to get stuff from Cisco. Then, of course, do all of our prep work that we do to get ready for Thursday. I was awoken by one of the sisters of the cats, and the other one had passed away. Now, the way that these two cats acted with us is the short-haired one pretty much stayed where Melissa and I stay in our part of the RV, hung out with us, sat in the laps, that kind of thing. And the other long-haired one stayed with Chris in his bedroom, and basically it was like having individual cats for each of us. Well, Chris has died. This was going to be difficult because nothing's really happened since we got him on those meds, and he's been on the meds now 9 years. He's doing really, really well. Both Melissa and I were scared to death to have to explain to him that the one cat that we got when he was having such trouble has passed away. Now, Chris handled it well. Handled it probably better than Melissa did. But because of that happening, and we did not want to leave Chris alone while we went to Cisco, and he certainly couldn't come with us because we wouldn't be able to fit it all in the pickup truck, we decided to cross our fingers and hope that we can just get through the week, because it was going to be close. We also did no prep work because, again, we live in an RV park, so it's not like we could just take the cat out and bury it somewhere. So what Chris decided was we could bury it in a lot that's across the street that the RV park owns. Well, in this part of Florida, it hasn't rained in, I'm going to say, over 2 months. We've had occasional rains, but it's not been worth anything. Well, the ground in that particular plot of land was like concrete. I'm talking a jackhammer was going to be needed to break it up. What should have taken 10 minutes to dig a hole took us an hour to dig a hole. One of the people from the RV park helped us, loaned us a shovel and helped dig the hole for us. So life happens. It's one of those things where you make decisions and then you got to stick with those decisions. Now, we decided not to go to Cisco, knowing full well that probably we're going to run out of stuff. Or we are going to have to go to Cisco after one of the days that we're open, either Thursday or Friday. And that would make for a very long day for whichever one of us drove up there to get it. And in most cases, it's Melissa that goes and gets it, because I always have other things to do as far as the coaching business goes. So not only did we not get any of our shopping done, we also didn't do any of the prep work we normally would have done. So that was going to make the next Thursday and Friday be really, really long days. And that's okay. But the best laid plans are always going to have something come up. There's always going to be something happen. Whether it's the death of a pet. I have seen food truck owners close from a death of a pet. But there's always going to be something. What matters is how do you respond to whatever that incident is and how do you bounce back. So for Chris, he went through the burial process. He was very good with that. We got together and looked a couple different things online to get him a little memorial for his cat, so he would have that. And he's doing okay. He's a little sad because essentially his best friend isn't there anymore. He's trying to coax the other short-haired cat into going back with him into his room. And I imagine at some point he'll win that cat's affection too. But we had to make a decision. Do we do what has to be done for Chris to make sure it's good for him to be able to survive or to be able to get through what could have been a difficult time for him? Or do we go ahead and go shopping and just cross our fingers and hope everything's okay? Also on Wednesdays, I typically, besides doing the prep work that I talked about, I also have to fill up our ice bins. Since we sell lemonades and iced coffees, I have to fill up the ice bins. It's another thing the RV park provides for us. I don't have to pay for ice. Again, my break-even point is really, really low. So I get the ice, but I had to fill up 2 bins worth of ice. Typically, my pattern would be get all of our laundry, go put it in the laundry room while it's washing, spend that time filling up the ice bins. And usually by the time I get the ice bins filled up, I get back to the laundry room, the laundry's done. Well, in this particular day, we didn't do laundry. Only thing I did was grab enough ice to get us started. I didn't even get the full run of ice I normally get. And we stayed and played games with Chris and did things to help him to feel better. That's what you got to do. But we were open on Thursday on time. Didn't run out of any food. Did we work really hard? Yes, we did. I sliced meat in between orders. I did whatever I needed to do so that we would have the stuff we always promise that we'll have. Melissa went over and cooked early, so we had all the food we needed to have. I didn't say, oh, sorry, sold out. We don't look for excuses to not have food. We look for reasons to stay fully stocked and to serve what we promise on our menu. We watched our inventory super close on Thursday because we knew if we sold too much of any one thing, we would have to make that trip to Cisco and it would have to be on Friday because we would have no other opportunity to get it. And we were very close to having to go make that trip on Friday, but we went ahead and decided not to. And I'll tell you about what we ended up doing on Thursday and Fridays, because we'll be doing one episode on every day. But the point of this episode, this was our Wednesday, you've got to be flexible, but you still have responsibilities to all your guests. There are people that come and eat with us every single day we're open. They don't do it because they like us. They do it because they need the food that we sell and they don't want to have to cook for themselves. There are some people that the only hot meal they get a week is what they come and buy from us. So we have a responsibility to feeding those folks. And yes, they pay for it, but we do have that responsibility because if we let them down, they'll remember that. So be back tomorrow and I'll tell you everything that happens on Thursday. Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.